Hello everyone, and happy full moon and happy Friday. Today is January 10th and it is the full moon in Cancer and also an eclipse. I think it's lunar. We won't be able to see it here in the Northern Americas where I live, but if you can see the lunar eclipse where you live, that's really cool, and I hope regardless that you're enjoying this time. So what this video is going to be is a reading from the I-Ching, which is I'm probably saying that like a white person and not very well, but this book is called the I-Ching. It's very old. It's from China, like thousands of years old, I'm pretty sure, and so it's based off of coin tosses, and it takes, so you like do 6 coin tosses from these 3 coins like this. There are 2 sides, heads and tails, and then it takes a bit of reading and going through this. So I've already done that and I've taken notes, and so I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to be doing a tarot reading for the new moon energy for the collective. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it resonates. If it resonates, let me know in the comments. If it doesn't, also let me know. So yeah, happy full moon, and let's get started. So I'll show you. This is the first. It's called a gua. This little set of 6 lines here. There's 4 or 5 solid lines and 1 broken line on the top. And it is called eliminating. So the cool thing about the I-Ching is when you do the coin tosses, it has some, depending on the way the coin tosses are, some of the lines are change lines. So the one with the circle, it changes to the other, like this one changes from a solid line to a broken line, and so it creates a new gua. And so this first one is where we are at now in the collective, and the second one is going to be where we're going to on this timeline that we're on in these energies. So for the full moon in Cancer, for the collective, we are in the energy of what this is called eliminating. So the top 3 lines are represent lake, and the bottom 3 heaven. So it's lake over heaven, and in the I-Ching it describes this as kind of like a cloud before it is about to burst into and like storm and rain. So it's like a collection of water, and the lake over, since it's over heaven, that's why it's in the air in a cloud, and it has there's a really good line in here. It says, when increase continues to excess, surely it will burst. Thus, after increasing, eliminating hesitation follows. So, dropping my tarot cards, there's been a period of increase and accumulation of energy. Right now, the energy is really strong with the full moon and the eclipse. And so after all this increasing and accumulation, basically thunderstorm. I don't know if you can hear that, it's thundering here, and it just thundered really loudly. So there's a period of elimination. Once you've accumulated all of this new stuff, you have to get rid of the excess, the things that you no longer need, things that are no longer serving you internally and as a collective. But this gets really interesting, so I'm going to keep going for my notes. So It also describes this as, like a channel to eliminate the excess water from a river if there's an overflow. So it's like this elimination of excess, but there is, after that, the point of it is to make a resolution. And I think that it's interesting that they use the term resolution, since it's really close to New Year's right now. But if you think about a resolution, it's a decision, but it's also like a plan. I mean, I think New Year's resolutions in general, just like making a list of things you want to do. I mean, it's always good to have goals, but I prefer to do them throughout the year, not once a year. But in the next couple of days, there's going to be some astrology things happening, making it a really, like next week, making it a really good time to manifest. So there's kind of this energy of eliminating the excess, which might be some internal shadow work, and working through your, the traumas and triggers and things that you have, or habits that are holding you back. And then you make a resolution, you make a plan, and you set those plans into place, and they're set very firmly. Also, the number of this gua is 43, which breaks down to a 7. And a 7 is all about gathering, well, according to Chinese numerology, gathering of information. And it isn't super, it's not a super social or with a lot of people. A lot of times it can be kind of solitary, learning about yourself and the universe type of energy. So there's going to be a lot of that right now, which can be hard sometimes to see the things that you face. So you have to get rid of the things that you are not okay with, the things that you're, trying to let go of, which is a big part of full moon energy. If you are into full moon rituals and that type of thing, is, stating the things that you are leaving behind in the last cycle. Losing my train of thought a little bit. So, yeah, setting plans into place. But this next part in this book is really interesting, especially because the intention of this reading was for the collective as a whole. And so I'm just going to read this part straight out of the book because it's a short little paragraph, but it's really interesting. This gua signifies the rupture of an accumulation of tension in human society. Like a river bursting over its banks, it is time for the righteous to eliminate the inferior forces and their influences through an act of resolution. There are 5 solid lines representing the just under a yielding line. Their influences are blending together and growing stronger. As a result, they will take resolute actions to eliminate negative forces. Guai, eliminating, is one of the 12 tidal gua representing the 3rd month of the Chinese lunar calendar. But all of that part about the first sentence alone, this gua signifies the rupture of an accumulation of tension in human society. That's how I feel with all the stuff going on right now. So, with that being said, yeah, all this crazy stuff that's happening in the world right now, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been on social media very much lately, because it's just it's hard not to get super sucked in to just all of the things going on. And that's not to say you shouldn't be aware and conscious, and I think that if you're a person who prays, or if you do any kind of ritual or something and you want to do that for the people who are being hurt by the natural disasters and the military things going on, like, by all means, send them love and protection. But you have to make sure that you have, if you're doing that from a place of being scared and worried and upset and like hurting for them, it's gonna increase the amount of fear and hurting. You have to be careful about your intentions with that kind of stuff. So for me, it's hard not to get sucked into all of the fear sometimes on social media, so I've been off it recently. However, and I do think that if, we should be careful about how we talk about these things, and because basically, so yeah, we have to be careful about how we're manifesting about, like, the ones in power in our society. Like, they have power because we believe they have power, and so, and like, just try to check your intentions, and check your intentions, but like, just, go look at the root of things, and this is part of that, like, eliminating the excess, like, the internal work side of that, as opposed to the, like, society as a whole side of that. Check those things, and if it's rooted in fear, don't, pursue those thoughts or whatever you were gonna, post on social media or, talk to someone about. If it's rooted in love and you're just genuinely trying to, like, send love and, like, to more people, then that's always a wonderful thing. So, but what's happening right now with all of this stuff, this crazy stuff, is there's been this accumulation of kind of energy and growth and people healing their traumas and waking up to their spirituality, and it is helping other people heal themselves and wake up, and it's reached this, like, really big amount of energy right now. So there's kind of this build up of tension, and all of this crazy things happening is like this release of all of this tension and energies. I think that everything that's happening down here on Earth is a projection of what's happening on the astral realm, and the energies and stuff that are, and in the energy exchanges that are happening there. So, oh my gosh, I need to reset it. Okay, so a big point of this is there's a force growing, resolving to eliminate evil, and we need to consider that in our collective as a whole, and where we're trying to, like, grow, and setting our goals in that sense, and also internally for each individual. What are you trying to get rid of, the evils inside of yourself, and how are you trying to grow? So this change line here, if you'll see, there's, like, the one with the circle up at the top. This is the only different one. That's the opposing force, and this is, like, the forces building and growing and accumulating. But this line represents the leader, which, if on the sense of, like, the internal work, that's going to be yourself experiencing the pressure of all of this built up forces and this other opposing force. That's also, like, in the collective, some kind of leader eliminating evil, or, gathering people together to help, or, something like that. So there's a lot of pressure here, though, between those two, that opposing force and all the built up forces. So you have to be careful to walk the center path and not have animosity, and you still need to be cautious and, like, slow and careful, especially right now, until the cloud does burst. This is still just setting plans into place. The action has not occurred yet. It's coming. I'll get to the next I-Ching and the next Gua in a moment, but and that's all about action. So it is coming, but right now you need to be cautious and reflective on yourself and your life and society and your roles in all of those places, and set your plans into place. I watched the full moon video from Water Baby Tarot. I highly recommend it if you're interested in keeping up with all of the astrology events and how they're affecting us, and especially right now there's a lot happening, and there's a couple dates next week. I encourage you to watch the video, but Sunday in particular is, I can't remember what is happening in the stars because I don't keep up with that stuff super well or like in super depth, but it's a manifestation day, and it's also like a reckoning day, so it's going to be like a release, but it's a day to set up, like really firmly set out and clearly set out all your goals into place on Sunday. And then after that, the Monday, the Venus is going, Sunday Saturn is in conjunct Pluto, and that's what, and you meditate a lot that day, set your manifestations and your goals really clearly and firmly. Venus is going into Pisces on Monday, the 13th, and that will open up some compassion and understanding for like resolutions in the home and, you know, in relationships and that kind of stuff, and with yourself. And then Mercury's going into Aquarius on Thursday, and that maybe, I can't remember, something about maybe helping with open-mindedness. I don't know. Watch the video. I took notes in my journal, and I'm going to use them for my full moon ritual, but this is an astrology video, and if you want that, watch Water Baby Tarot's video. But the point of that was to say is that there's a lot of big manifestation energy coming up. For now, though, that's why we have to be cautious right now and set our plans into place and do this eliminating and getting rid of the stuff that we no longer need, or if you don't, it's going to manifest, you know, magnify those things that you should be getting rid of will be magnified if you haven't eliminated them by the time you're manifesting. So with that change line, switching from a solid to a broken line, changes to 34, number 34, which is called Great Strength. And it's interesting because 34, it also breaks down to a 7. But this one is, I'll show you what it looks like. Maybe. Hello. So, well, you know what? Why am I doing it like that? This is what it looks like with the 2 broken lines at the top and the 4 solid lines. So there's one more broken line than the last one. Oh my gosh, I have it bookmarked so I can get it easily. So that was the last one, and then it changes to, this is where we are having great strength. Great strength. And the difference is, because they're pretty similar, the difference is this sense of unity. There's no longer that leader at the top taking all the pressure. It says in here, a union of motion with great strength. Oh, a union of motion with strength is what creates this great strength. So there's motion, there's an action, and like action happening, but it's like a union, so a collective, not just like individual level. But there is individual strength, which creates a really great strength because there's this unity. So then it becomes a shared strength, which is a really beautiful thing. So, or like a really beautiful energy, I think. And I really like the way that they put that in the book. So it's thunder over heaven, and it's cool because it went from lake over heaven, and it was that imagery of a cloud about to burst, and then we have thunder. And those two at the top are kind of, again, the opposing force, the thunder that's trying to enter heaven. And when that happens, all of the forces unite, and they've had this plan already set into place, so it's not difficult. They just, take the action. This is the action that would be really a big, great strength. It says here also, don't become too opinionated and run wild. The point is strength and unity, and moral strength comes first, which is why we're doing that eliminating now. It's important to sorry, I just got very distracted. It's important to not become too opinionated or focused on the self and the individual once we transfer from the eliminating to the great strength, and not be like, I am the one with the great strength. You have strength, but the great strength comes from all of us together as one. So I think it's interesting that it's still a 7, which still has that kind of solitary gathering of information and growth, but it just kind of goes from this is an individual level and a society level with what it said in here about the bursting of tensions in human society, but it is also micro and macro, which means on the large scale and the tiny small scale, individual scale. So once we have this great strength, it's important to not be too focused on the self and kind of run wild with the strength. It's important to stay connected to the collective and the unity, and I think it will be successful. And it's interesting, all this stuff about eliminating evil. I don't think that any of this has to do with physical violence or war of any kind. I think it's about getting rid of the negative and harmful things in our lives and in our collective that are holding us back. And we'll find out what that looks like, I suppose. I'll read the sequence of the Gua from this one. It says, things cannot retreat forever. Thus, after retreat, great strength follows. So in the order of the Guas, the one before is retreat. So if things cannot retreat forever, it's interesting. It's this this is the action after all of the build-up and the elimination and the plans. This is the manifestation, the thunder, and it's really funny that it's thundering right now where I live. I got a phone call and it paused the video, so I took a little break and I am back now. So yes, to conclude the I-Ching part of it, the energy we are in right now, eliminating. There's a lot of built-up tension, and we are eliminating the excess, what we no longer need to hold on to and keep with us. The things that are holding us back, this is happening on the individual, internal level, and in society as a whole. And we are moving into great strength. Thunder over heaven, it's going to be a unified action, it's a big force that comes from, the great strength comes from unifying all of our individual strengths. But you have to eliminate and do the work. Right now is about planning and processing. And so be careful not to push into the action too much just yet. So, the full moon is in Cancer, which means that where you're going to words. The full moon in Cancer. It's all of the energies that are going to be building up, and what Cancer represents is the home and family and interpersonal, like family relationships, not just your blood family, but your soul tribe, and also like the people you live with. So if you have roommates, and if you have, you could have things from your family coming up that you maybe thought you had already processed. And it's one, final excess thing. But also there will be some coming together of family members, and like, joining together in unity between family members as well. So let's get some cards for the collective for the full moon, January 10th, 2020. Got the Five of Wands. In my deck, it's the Five of Imps. So if you can't tell, this energy is like argumentative and kind of fighting energy. So I see this as like in the home, in the family, this how all those energies I talked about before in the video are manifesting in those relationships close to you. So be careful of fighting with other people right now. Interesting. Okay, so I pulled 3 more cards. The first one that I pulled, I asked for context of the fighting and the arguing energy of this fire energy here. I got the Ace of Wands, or Imps, in the reverse. So this card is the energy to me is being out of control. He's being hung there. You're in the beginning, but it's like not quite time to take the steps yet, is what I'm picking up from this right now, with this energy. And so there's 2 reverse cards. There's also Strength in the reverse, which is funny because to me from that I-Ching reading I did, kind of picking up on this energy of like the strength is coming and the action, like this duo in the upright is coming, but we're not there yet. We're not taking these beginning steps and having this like great strength from our unity. It's not a time to make those moves yet, which could be why there's like fighting and stuff, is because we're feeling these tensions, this accumulation of energy, and it feels like time we need to eliminate the excess, and we think that like the way it feels like that means we should, fight with other people, and like it's time to use that strength, but really you have to do it internally and then come together and use the strength fully. So be careful of trying to take the strength out on other people right now, like use that in that way. The third card that was in the upright is the Hierophant. So this is the High Priest card, like there's a High Priestess. It's kind of the male counterpart of the High Priest. It represents like religious, represents a religious figure. And from this card, get the sense that if you have a belief system or a religion that you follow or practice, or any that you're curious in, right now is a good time to focus on that and focus on yourself and your role in that community. And if you're not religious, like just your role in your community in general, and your, maybe some kind of spirituality, whether you believe in a higher power or God or source or the universe or any of those things. This also could be seeking out some kind of mentorship from a person who, like, getting knowledge or an education of some kind. But really working on yourself. This is a really big energy. Set your goals for yourself with your spirituality. And focus on these things and not quite so much all the energies around you and, like, getting caught up in it. Or at least be careful about that. But with this full moon and the eclipse, yeah, it's a really good time to do some spiritual reflection and figure out, maybe it's time to figure out what your beliefs are finally. Something like that, though. That's what we should be focusing on. Let's get some more cards. Well, I guess I can ask about that Hierophant energy more. Take this fighting stuff off the table. Okay, I almost mixed up my cards. Too many cards jumping out at once. All right. Context, clarification. Okay, once again, I have 2 reverse cards and 1 upright card. The first card is upright, and it is the 7 of Ghosts or Cups. It's water energy. This imagery here is massive manifestation energy. If you're this knight down here, kind of dreaming up this situation, it's almost like really visually this guy here with the little cat preparing for and manifesting and visualizing the unity, the great strength, all of us coming together and using our individual strengths for, like, this great strength. So yeah, it's this Hierophant energy. Follow your intuition and manifest what resonates with you in your life, and that will lead to us all coming together, and you will find your place in the collective. You can only do that by following your own path and your own spirituality, and developing your own skills and strengths. But right now, it's time to manifest. The next 2 in the reverse are the 3 of Wands or Imps and the Chariot. So with the Chariot especially being in the reverse, it's not the time to take control of the wheel. It's not time to start your, which I'm feeling a little called out right now. Today's not the day to start your business. but, it's okay. We all get called out in tarot readings. So this energy in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the reverse. I think instead of, for today, for the full moon, and maybe tomorrow too, it's not necessarily the best moment to be looking forward and planning. We have to look inwards first before we can do the planning. And we have to do that internal illumination of whatever we need to let go of before we're ready to get in the driver's seat. And so, yeah, focus on the spirituality right now and your own, whatever it is you're drawn to. I do think that starting small businesses is going to be a big thing in 2020. It has been in the past couple of years already, but like with whatever it is you're passionate about, and making money from something that you're passionate about is going to be a big theme in 2020. I can already see that coming in my life and a lot of people's lives around me. But so, like, don't worry, like, it's coming, and the time to take the driver's seat and take control of the path you're on is coming. But for the full moon, it's time to do some whatever kind of religion or spirituality you practice it, and do some reflection, and then do some manifesting. But yeah, like I said, Sunday the 12th is going to be the big day to write out all your goals and manifest, with Saturn conjunct Pluto that day. So, and then after that, it will be the great action and the unity. But for right now, the moment in time, focus on yourself and your intuition and whatever that's telling you, and you should focus on right now, or whatever passion you're drawn to right now. Let's get an advice card or two. I got the Four of Wands. So much fire energy for the moon being in Cancer. And I know that there's like a million placements in Capricorn right now, including the sun. So it's so interesting that I'm drawing so much fire energy. And not even just in this reading, like all day and yesterday too. All today and yesterday too. Four of Wands or Imps in the reverse for advice. Meaning, it's going to take some time to be alone right now, and this like soul tribe energy, it's going to come with the unity, but for right now, through this internal elimination process of all the things that you need to let go of, and developing your spirituality and your goals and your dreams, it's good to be solitary right now, like for Friday and Saturday, the 10th and 11th, and the 12th maybe, while you're setting your goals too, maybe for this weekend. It's okay to embrace that energy. I think maybe a big part of it too is with all the tension building up right now, it's easy to get into this kind of stuff. So, like this kind of energy and getting sucked in. So, and you don't want to get sucked into that, because we want to be able to manifest our strengths and our passions. Another advice. Oh, 2 cards. I didn't even realize. And they're both upright. And one of them's fire. The Knight of Ghosts or Cups, and the 7 of Imps or Wands. I drew this exact combination yesterday for somebody that's really interesting. I hope he watches this. So yeah, with So this was advice. This energy here, in particular with like the illustration on this particular deck, this little human guy in the imp costume, the 7 of imps or wands. So this energy is trying new things, the things that you're curious about, trying or learning about, in getting out of your comfort zone to explore those things and to explore, new sides of yourself. So have a really open mind right now. Try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. Still listen to your intuition. And if you try something and it's not for you, then that's okay. You can just try something else. But that was paired with this Knight of Ghosts, which is about communicating emotions, because the water energy represents emotions, and he's like literally holding a message, and there's like giving it to a ghost. So communicating and expressing your emotions, and with that solitary energy, it might be more about expressing your emotions by some form of journaling or art or music or meditation or gardening or something that you do by yourself that you can express your emotions through. It might be good to do that first before, because oftentimes you do that and then you realize you can really truly identify your emotions, and then you can go and express them to other people clearly and communicate it clearly, because you've already, been able to navigate it on your own. So communicate your emotions, that with the tension too, and the like burst of water energy, like that feeling. Definitely don't let something like weigh down on you for too long. If it's like something's weighing on you, communicate it, but make sure that you're in a place where you can communicate without being impulsive and inconsiderate and those kinds of things, because it's really easy to get sucked into this currently. So yeah, get out there, try new things, and it's okay if it's by yourself when you're doing that. Keep that in mind, because your soul tribe, these connections, they're supporting you. The collective, like, you're a part of the collective whether you're physically alone or not at all times. So it's important to be able to be alone and enjoy that space and understand that you're not alone, and that there's like soul. I think a lot of people are going to find their soul tribes during 2020 with this kind of big unity energy we're moving into. So just embrace being alone right now, because it's not going to last. You are going to have times in the future where you are more a part of a community and a collective than by yourself. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you have a wonderful full moon and eclipse, and a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend. And so I'm posting this on my YouTube because I don't have a Patreon set up yet, but I am working on getting my Patreon set up, and in the future my full moon I-Ching and tarot videos, and the new moon. So I'll do a video for each of those events each month. Those will be on my Patreon, as well as a couple other things, and there's a $5 a month tier, and then the one with the full moon and new moon videos is $10 a month for both of those videos, with the I-Ching and tarot. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I will be posting more content on YouTube, just not these particular videos. But I can't remember what the link to my Patreon is, so I guess I'll just post it in the stuff below. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a happy full moon, and can't wait to manifest my goals and dreams, and can't wait to see all of you manifest your goals and dreams too. Goodbye.